Well, guys, I messed up. Remember about a month or two ago, I put this thing in the water and stripped the spur gear out on it. Well, I hosed it down, sprayed it with some WD-40, and it's been sitting. Yes, it's been sitting. It is completely locked up. The diffs aren't turning. The motor isn't turning. Got some work ahead of me. So we're going to open this thing up and try to get it back working. Take a look. So here it is in all of its locked up glory. Push it. Looks like the diffs are locked. Yeah, because these servos could be messed up. Steering servo seems okay. It looks like it got some kind of movement. The motor is not locked up. So I'm going to pull the drive shafts off and actually power this thing up and just see if anything works electronically. Okay, so the shafts are off. The motor and all that seems to be fine. That has started to move. Definitely got a lot of resistance in there. Let's see what this front can do. Wow. Front is not moving at all. Lesson here, maintain your vehicles if you get it in the water. Yeah, that front's going to be quite the challenge. Anyways, now that I've got the drive shafts loose, I got to take them loose here and here. I want to try to spin this thing over, even though that spur gear is stripped out. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Got to be careful because I use dual 3S's in this. Wow. Wow, electronics are good. The diff lock servos are good. All right, I got a little bit of motion on this tire. That tire over there is locked. Watch some battery plugs. Oh, that differential is not coming undone. Yeah, I really got some axle issues with this thing, don't I? But I'm impressed. That spur gear is obviously not happy, but ooh. Okay. That's actually awesome. So that was awesome. The biggest issue that I've got is going to be in this front end, so that's where we're going to start. Obviously the tires are off. These shocks actually seem to do okay. They actually took it really good, actually. So I'm going to take the servo loose, take the steering off, and get that entire front axle off. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and drop the back, but right now the focus is the front. So just to get an idea of what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and take those 4 screws out, and we're going to get to see just what's under that diff cover. Well, it's not in the best of shape. See the bearings. Yeah, I got to take all that out, make sure all the bearings are free. So let's go ahead and get to these portals. Okay, so this portal here actually seems to be okay. This one, not so much. And this absolutely has some locked up bearings. That one is locked. That one, not happy at all. That one seems good. You know them gears inside of there are bad, right? Now I've already got the bearings and stuff off. Yeah, this is a disaster. I'm not a big fan of messing around in water, but when I do, I seem to just go for it. And then I decide, you know what, I'm gonna let it sit for a week. I'll do a video to show the damage. And here we are about 2 months later. My 1.5 millimeter hex wrench, the good one, isn't so good. So anyway, opening this up is going to be interesting because I know these are not going to be happy. That's not bad. I expected a lot worse than that. Maybe some general cleanup and they'll be good to go. So those are the internals. I've got to go do some serious cleanup on those. These look a little bit rough. Wow. That's a huge difference between this side and the other side. Evidently, this side was sealed just fine. And that's good to see. So these are the parts I got to clean up, which is pretty much everything. There's all my gears and all that. The bearings, pretty much a total loss. I'm not even going to try to mess with those. I'm going to go online maybe to Jim's Bearings and see if he has just a set of bearings for the TRX axles. Now the back end is actually in much better shape. It does have some locked up bearings though, especially on the portals. All of these bearings actually seem to turn, so, but still, I gotta tear all of this apart. This is the bag of stuff to clean, the plastic and the metal stuff. Over here I have the bolts and all the pins. Don't really want to put the pins in the cleaner, but all this stuff right here I can do. Bearings are just simply going to go into the garbage. So while I'm waiting on new bearings to get here, because I know I don't have all the sizes in stock, I can go ahead and take that out, which is a Techno Center piece, and go ahead and put in the new steel spur gear. Here's the Techno Center diff. Might have could have had better pinion mesh. Now this side over here, the bearing is moving fine. Over here, not so much. So definitely got to get a couple new bearings for this. Now I know the bearings in the motor are not happy, so I'll get a set of those as well. So I got the motor apart. As you might expect, it is not as clean as it should be. I'm going to attempt to clean this up and reuse it because I am going to order some bearings for it. And the rotor, although it doesn't look as clean as it should, I didn't realize it actually had staggered magnets in it. Check that out. Huh. Neat. Yep, that back bearing is toast as well. So many bearings. Here's your sensor board and back bearing, and yes, guys, that is sand that was actually in the motor. Oh man, I'm gonna try to clean this up. If it continues to work, that'll be pretty darn awesome for a Hobby Wing motor, man. I mean, this thing has not been taken easy on at all. I'm gonna attempt to hydraulically push it out. I have this much of a silicone earplug left, and I'm gonna try to shove that in there as much as I can. Now you may be able to do this with grease as well. In fact, I know you can, but yeah, I'm just simply going to try it with this. I'm also out of silicone earplugs. Guess it's time to reorder, huh? Restock. Now, probably shouldn't be using the rotor that I'm going to try to reuse. But let's see if I can hydraulically push the bearing out. Let's see what we got here. The bearing. It did not seem like it was trying to come out. That bearing is really in there. What I may have to do, wow, I may have to actually do something else that I've done in the past, and that's actually run a drill bit right through here. You'll get a pilot hole on the back side, then you run one, say a 6mm through it on the back side here, and that'll give you an actual bearing lip that you can press the bearing out with. So hopefully I don't have to do that, but you never know. All right, let's see what we got here. Try to give it a little bit more of a hit. Well, I thought I was getting it out, but what I have done, this is not going so well. I have forced the grease all the way through the bearing, and it is actually coming out around the bearings. So, did not work. One more time. Heck, I'd rather not have to drill the back of this thing. Wow, yeah, I'm really got to order some more earplugs. One more shot. Let's just see if I can get lucky here. I missed. You can see where it's actually pushing right through the bearing versus actually pushing the bearing out. Oh well, I guess I get to do some drilling. So this is the back of it. You can now see the inner bearing race right there. So with that and that little hole, I should be able to knock the bearing out now. The good news is it makes it easier for the next bearings if the motor survives. I mean, you know, that may not survive, but this also opens up for contaminants into the motor. So I may put some glue or something on top of it just to kind of seal it up. So there we go. Right there. That is a thick little bearing. I'll be willing to put a good bearing back there for sure. Here, obviously the front and the back. 5 by 13 by 4. 5 by 11 by 5. So, yep, you got to get a set of bearings. Time to change the spur. Now, the bearings are actually 8 by 16 by 5. I've got plenty of those. So, good to go there. Let's go ahead and get the new Techno spur gear on and get this part done at least. This was simple, easy, straightforward. Nothing really to see here. I did top it off with some million weight diff oil. Now, if you're looking at this closely, you're probably wondering about those right there. Those are custom outputs to allow me to actually run the drive shaft straight to it. Just a piece of 5mm drill rod that were put in a machine and actually drilled to allow the pins to work, and that's how I get drive shafts onto a Techno center diff. So at this point in time, I get to wait for bearings and reassembly. So got to clean all my mess up. Yeah. So for the first time in about 2 months, I get to throttle it up. And oh yeah, those are the 2.2 Fling Kings. Haha. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah. One thing for sure, it's got an insanely long wheelbase and it's kind of narrow. So it is what it is. Let's try that rear locker. Let's see what it does. There we go. Gotta figure my switches out. Oh, does not want to. Yeah, it's locked. They're just hooking up. Maybe I just need to throttle it. No. Let's get some hill climbing going on here. Oh wow, you see that? The diffs just kind of messed me up on that. Wow, I was able to get it like that. Now I'm hung up into some bushes. Aww. Let's go ahead and give it a jump. That was a little more like it. I mean, if you're watching this, you waded through a whole bunch of stuff, or you just kind of clicked on and went to the time. Yeah. Either way, that was beautiful. No run out here is complete without hitting that. TRX4 axles, man, they are amazing. So I can bring it back through here. Oh, got it. Now I'm not expecting a whole lot, but let's just see what happens. Oh my God! I don't know what I hit, but it threw it around bad. It is still alive. I don't know what I hit, but I think I may have hit that wall. And it took it. I'm not sure where I'm going to hit this, but let's see what happens. Oh, something broke. That broke something. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. What did I pop? Okay. Really? That's it? Just a rod end. This thing took some abuse. I'm glad to have it back running. It does still drive. Not in the best of shape. But I will tell you guys this, if I can drive it back to wherever I've got to go, it's always a successful run. Even if it's one-wheel drive. You guys have seen that before, right? Oh, wow. And that's an easy fix, too. I probably got a couple at the house. Well, guys, I'm glad to have this thing back up and running. Moral of the story, maintain your vehicles when you put them in the water or sink them in the mud. Yeah, lesson learned. I probably won't put it in mud like that again, in all honesty. Maybe skip it across some water? Yeah, maybe. A few splashes? Yeah, for sure, but I don't plan to sink it like that. Nah. I do like these tires on here. I kind of wish somebody would make a set of TRX4 axles, all the portals and all that stuff, but about 3 inches wider. How awesome would that be? But it is what it is. So that is just a simple Traxxas rod end. Simple, easy fix. I got a couple of those in the bin, so get that fixed up. And it's back on the shelf for whenever I go to drive it again. Guys, in that description, I'm going to put links to all kinds of stuff that you'll find on here. Bearings, the tires, the motor, which actually saved well. I mean, the bearings pretty much fixed it. Got lucky on that, I think, because it did survive. The Monster X ESC, the thing's solid as a rock. The servo, this one right here just has a 25 kg servo. Because I'm so used to using reef servos and everything. This has got just a cheap 25 kg, and I haven't been able to kill it yet. The thing is working out great. Because, well, these tires don't have them, but the other ones have the offsets, you know, to try to make it wide. So, a lot of bad leverages on that servo, but hasn't died yet.
So there are links in the description for that. Amain, eBay, Amazon, and whatever I can find for Horizon is in there. Horizon is a new affiliate, so make sure you guys click that one. Pick up something. I don't know, body clips. Anyway, guys, check that description. Use those links. Make sure you're subscribed. And thank you all for watching.
If you like what you see, hit that like button and subscribe. And if you really like it, ring that bell so you get all the new content when it comes on out. Now, starting up very soon, I'm going to start a giveaway for all channel members, and it is going to be monthly. It will be a giveaway, simple, easy payment way to double your return on your subscription fees. So yeah, you might want to check that out. Guys, thank you all for watching.